Namaste. So in the last episode, we talked about how Sumedha, the disciple of Parashurama, practiced the Sri Vidya and got the vision of Tripura Sundari as a 10-year-old girl. And now this same Sumedha went on to become Haritayana, the author of this book, the Tripura Rahasyam. So I want to read the prayer that he offers to Devi when she appeared to him in the dream, because it's so beautiful and very informative as well. Seeing her in the dream, the happy Haritayana prostrated with folded hands and in a sweet, choked voice started praising her. Victory to Sri Tripura, the mother. Victory to the transcendent Balambika. Victory forever to the lover of devotees. Victory to the embodiment of compassion. I'm going to see, this might make a nice kirtan. You are called Tripura because you showed 3 times the triple aspects of primary substance. We've been talking about triples on this channel from the beginning. You are the sole refuge for Brahma and others. O Devi, even Hari, Hara, gods and teachers and others are unable to either comprehend or explain a little of your greatness. That being so, who in this world, bereft of worshipping your feet, can desire to tread the path of praying to you? This, by the way, is the second half of the first shloka of another wonderful work by Sri Shankaracharya on the Devi. O Devi, devotion to your lotus feet is like a bunch of chintamani's, wish-fulfilling gems, that would grant fruits greater than one's desire. Hence, O Sundari, the highest transcendental auspiciousness, please tell me what cannot be achieved by those who have totally submitted their body and mind at your lotus feet. Prior to creation, you were always resting your pure, undisturbed form, which was a natural ocean of ambrosial delight. At that time or state, there was no sky, air, fire, water, earth, pot and cloth, enlightenment, ignorance, speech, or senses. Before the creation, you were alone in the form of supreme consciousness filled with immense infinite power. Transcendentally blissful, you were bearing the seed of the garland of the group of worlds and were giving auspicious individual identity to beings. Oh, pure consciousness! Later, your shining existence was revealed, and suddenly other beings, moving and non-moving, appeared. They are related to you like the waves related to the sea, like pots to the earth, and jewels to gold. Therefore, there is nothing in this universe that is separate from you. Being the soul of all beings, you shine with your great spatial form. Though of such form, your sport of assuming a form with hands and legs is due to your compassion towards your devotees. Such a form of yours becomes visible rarely to a merited few who have pure sight from their devotion to the lotus feet of sacred Guru. What am I telling you? Otherwise, how can a vision of your form become easy? Salutations to you, whose feet are like Agastya unto the ocean of delusion. Salutations to you, whose compassion is like the Vajrayuda thunderbolt unto a mountain of misery. Salutations to you, skillful in granting more than the desires of the devotees. Salutations to you, O Balambika, the repository of the riches of Shiva, the foe of the Tripuras. Thus, praising the great Devi with his heart full of love, he prostrated at her feet, with tears of joy filling in his eyes, horripilating and heart filled with devotion. He was unable to aspire anything from her. When he was thus immersed in the ocean of love, bhakti, and unable to see, speak, or do anything, Devi Tripura, with a beautiful smile on her face and a dignified voice showering ambrosia, addressed him as "my child," and placed her lotus hand on his head. Sumedha, who was, due to the vision of Devi, already immersed in the ocean of joy, got transformed into absolute bliss by the touch of her hand. I can testify to this. This happened to me. I mentioned last time how I had seen her back in 1984, or she had come to me. I didn't see her because she was in her subtle form, the form that's mentioned here, which is beyond space, time, form, and so many other things. So because of that transcendental form, ever since then, my whole existence has been transformed. As I mentioned last time, the three worlds are not imagination. Tripura means the three worlds, the goddess of earth, the celestial realms, and the heavenly realms. So these are not imagination. These are real. In fact, they're more real than anything, because they are direct expressions of our state of consciousness. And when we're in a gross state of consciousness, we're aware of this gross body. And when we're in more subtle states of consciousness, we're aware of more subtle bodies, until finally we're just aware of pure consciousness without an object. And that is the goddess. That is her ultimate form. That is even beyond the state of the fourth state of consciousness. So I can't really express, I can't explain how wonderful this is. But just like Sumedha here, I get completely ecstatic whenever I think about it. So you see, this is the fruit of worshiping the goddess and pleasing her with the proper forms of worship and real bhakti, spontaneous bhakti coming from the heart. Not formal according to rules and regulations, or ascetic, giving up this and giving up that. But to focus all one's energies on her in harmony. When I hear my inner sounds, you all hear your inner sounds, right? I've heard them since I was a young boy. So when you hear your inner sounds, if they are dissonant, it means you're in a state of inner conflict. But when your inner sounds align and become perfectly harmonic, that's how you know you're in a good place. And mine form a perfect major chord. So I'm very happy with this. I'm really, really happy with this. And I want to tell you, imagine, let's try to express it this way. Imagine that you could make friends with the goddess of the three worlds. That one who is like the ocean to the waves, or like the earth to the pot, or like gold to the jewelry. She who is the substance of everything. And what that substance is, of course, is consciousness. Everything that we experience is only a reflection in consciousness. There's no way to prove whether it's objectively existing or not. Because any evidence that we might become aware of in that connection is also just a reflection in consciousness. So we're stuck in this completely subjective completely helpless position. Only the goddess is active. Only she has the power to make things move and change. And she does. Doesn't she? Like every day, today, suddenly a big storm blew in. It was supposed to be a big festival today. 2 million people coming. But there was instead torrents of rain. So I don't know what happened to the festival. We'll find out later. But just imagine, you make friends with somebody who is capable of, for example, changing your dreams so that your dreams become all blissful and happy. Huh? I used to be, like everybody else, confused by my dreams because they were so different from my everyday life. They were very strange sometimes, or sometimes scary, or sometimes violent, lustful, weird. Now my dreams are all beautiful. Imagine if you made friends with somebody who could change your dreams so that you become completely emotionally fulfilled, emotionally satisfied, just by dreaming. And then you wake up in the morning like, another beautiful day. And no matter what kinds of nonsense people throw at you, it doesn't affect you. Because you know, tonight I'm going to go back into my dream world and everything's going to be beautiful again. Just imagine if you knew somebody like that. Wouldn't that be cool? It is cool. It's very cool. So I'm not putting on an act here. I'm not like, yucking it up, picking and grinning, like the musicians say. No, this is really how I am. Anybody who knows me in real life, IRL, they'll tell you the same thing. I'm always laughing. I'm always smiling. I'm patient and kind. Why? Because I have no axe to grind. I have no desires. I don't expect anything from anybody. In fact, I expect that people will misunderstand me, will persecute me in different ways. All these haters on the internet, I expect that people will ignore me and will betray me, because that's what's happened in the past. So, if things change, that would be great. But I don't expect it to. So I get my fulfillment within. I experience my happiness within. I'm not dependent on anything external. I'm financially independent. I don't have to worry about money for the rest of my life. So I just live in a very simple way, and just worship the goddess. And it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful life. I can't understand why people aren't knocking down my door wanting to become disciples. But anyway, I'm not the guru. But I can introduce you to the guru. But anyway, nobody's really serious about this stuff. I'm just doing this because it's my duty. And I don't really get anything from it. Except the happiness of knowing that I'm doing the right thing. Om Tat Sat. Om Harihi Om.